Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. You should have got a message up on the screen to say that this is being recorded. So hopefully you've accepted that and now we can move on. And we've got a wide-ranging audience, as we've already, I think, started to see. So if you haven't yet done it, if you could put your name, ideally your organization, role and location into the chat, that will be great. We've already seen people from quite a wide range of different places joining us, so that's great. We're going to circulate the slides and our research resources after the webinar, so you don't necessarily need to take notes right now because we're going to send all this to you. What we think is you'll get full benefit from this session if you give us your full attention and your full engagement. We are going to leave time at the end for questions and discussion, so you'll get some time there. Obviously, please put in the meantime any particular points that come up for you in the chat, and we'll obviously aim to get to those as well. But let's get started on our topic, because today we want to address an issue which is really right at the top of the corporate agenda. I don't know any company that doesn't have attracting and retaining their talent at the top. And the retention bit is just as important as the attraction bit. Not only is it proving to be quite a difficult time to attract talent and keep talent, but retaining talent is really a challenge. So what we wanted to do today was address that and give you a new strategy for attracting talent and from keeping that talent, because we think that people are what make companies perform, and we'd love your company, your organization to soar in performance terms, and critical to that will be the people and whether you can attract and retain them. And as you know, we're living in really, really challenging times at the moment. We've been through the pandemic, of course, we're still feeling the effects of that. And it's caused a lot of employees and people to really rethink, why they work and the organizations they work for. We're also in the middle of an economic crisis worldwide, causing companies to pivot and really innovate to try and stay relevant, to try and stay in business. And as a result of all of this, there's this huge global competition for talent. And HR directors I talk to refer to the very real challenges of finding and attracting employees. And then new research just released, I think yesterday, from Gallup in their Global State of the Workplace report shows that the UK, where I'm from, continues to perform really poorly in employee engagement. In fact, it's home to one of the most dissatisfied workforces in Europe, apparently. I was shocked to read just 9% of workers in the UK feel enthused by their workplace and their work. Apparently in Germany, it's much better at 16%, and the USA, for example, scores at 33%. Those are still, though, I think, low numbers compared with what we would want to see. And so what we're seeing is something like the pandemic gives everybody the opportunity to rethink what they want from work. And we're seeing actually that employees have been leaving their jobs in record numbers, often quitting the corporate world for good and for choosing some of the attractive alternatives like freelancing. And when employees do stay, they're actually demanding more pay and expecting pay rises and better conditions. And companies are finding that challenging, as well as attracting replacement staff to replace the people that are leaving. So this is, in the fast moving times we've now got, we need these new ways of looking at this issue. And that's what we want to present to you today. We're going to look at attracting and retaining talent from the organizational viewpoint, but also we're going to look at what individual employees want from their organization so that they can thrive. And of course, you're all individual and you've all got things you want to see from your workplace. So, we're very interested to hear from you. So let's introduce ourselves. So I'm a business consultant, non-executive director of a couple of startups, executive coach and mentor. I spent 40 years in the global HR consulting world with Mercer, global consulting firm. I've become a keynote speaker on talent and talent issues, diversity, equity, inclusion, and gender equality. Been the only man on the board of a women's network, for example, and spoken at conferences that are all about female leadership and female talent, which is where I met Leanna. And I'm also a companion to the Chartered Management Institute in the UK, where I worked on their project on leadership for the future. So that's about me. Leanna.
Hi everyone, so first of all, welcome. I'm really glad to be here with you today. My name is Leanna Thompson, and my passion is to help organizations to build cultures driven by passion and purpose, because I truly believe that purpose-led companies inspire the people to great success. But it hasn't always been my passion, and it's not something I've done for my whole life. I mean, I spent over 15 years in a corporate arena as a business consultant, and I coached and I've consulted, I trained, I've designed workflows for organizations like CBRE, Microsoft, Ministry of Defense, and many, many others. But in 2019, I left my career because I wanted to find more fulfillment and meaning in my life, and ultimately discover my purpose. So now I'm a coach and a speaker. I've published in quite a few magazines and actually was nominated for a prize by Brains, which I'm waiting to hear today, whether I received the prize or not. I've recorded multiple podcasts and also co-authored a book with other female entrepreneurs called You Can Have It All. And earlier this year I was a keynote speaker at feminine leadership events where Robert and I met, and we began a collaboration then. So that's me. Right, so let's have a look. I mean, firstly, let's actually have a talk. Is why do employees really leave? Well, especially now, more than ever. Many of us have been primed for success from the moment we're born. We're told by our parents and teachers, society, everyone else, what we need to do in order to succeed. So we go to schools, we study hard, we get a degree, we get a job, and we climb up the career ladder, we get more status, more recognition, more money. And in a sense, we made it all. But something happens in this journey, at least for many people. They lose track of what was once important to them, and they lose connection to their why. And what the last few years has really enabled people to do is to pause and reflect and ask themselves, who am I? Why am I here? What is my why? So many of the workforce are no longer motivated by remuneration alone. They want some meaning, they want fulfillment, and they want their why. And if they don't find the why in their jobs, they will leave. So according to McKinsey research, 2/3 of employees have said that pandemic caused them to reflect on their purpose in life, and nearly half have said that they're reconsidering what kind of work they do. So today we wanted to share with you a few simple but very effective techniques and strategies to help your company to attract and keep talent.
And looking at the research that McKinsey have done in this space, recently they looked at why people had left companies without another job to go to. And they were actually questioning whether people have just gone for now or whether they're actually gone from the corporate world for good. And when they looked at the reasons why people said that they were leaving companies, as you can see here on the chart, uncaring leaders, unsustainable work performance expectations, lack of career development and advancement potential, and lack of meaningful work were all really kind of critical reasons why people said that they weren't happy and why they left. So, it's very interesting to understand, what you're seeing. And so maybe in the chat you could pop in, what are you seeing where you're working? Are people going? Are they asking for more money? What kind of reasons are they giving for leaving? If you've left yourself, be very interested to get your perspective on that. But basically, that's the landscape that we're seeing. People are quitting. They're being prepared to quit without another job to go to. And here are some of the reasons. And when we look at the Gartner research, which is really interesting, Gartner were looking at what do employees actually want from employers. And I mean, quite amazingly, and not surprisingly, it's to be treated as human beings. 82% of them said they believe it's important for organizations to see them as full people, not just as workers. And yet only 45% of employees thought that organizations actually do that. So there's a massive disconnect between what they want to see and what they actually are seeing. And then 65% of employees in this research want to work for organizations with a strong social and environmental conscience. So an organization that has a strong why and has a strong purpose. And this is all part, I think companies need to be aware of this and respond to it in the way that they're crafting their employee value proposition. And we're starting to see now a lot of work being done by companies exactly for that point.
So let's have a look at why actually companies are struggling to attract and keep their talents. So one of the first reasons is that the organizational purpose is simply not aligned to the purpose of the employees. Passion and profits have driven companies forward for so many years, but now there is a third ingredient, and that's purpose. And that should actually be the key as to why business exists. And this movement of purpose is gaining momentum and is required to drive organizations and also our society forward. lack of care and motivation. According to Accenture reports, 3 in 4 people have reported that their leaders are not responsive to their needs, and they also don't engage or communicate regularly. And developing potentials or investing in personal and professional growth. Too many companies focus only on investing in professional development of the people, sending them on various courses to upskill the skills, but they neglect the most important part, and that is developing this people behavior. I mean, the importance of investing in personal growth cannot be overestimated, because it truly allows your people to become the best versions of themselves. And all of that ultimately leads to lack of productivity and higher business costs. The cost of rehiring people that you lost, and the cost of underperformance. It was,
And
so let me just, it was Henry Ford, I believe, who once said that the only thing that's worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training your employees and having them stay. Robert, you
yeah,
wanted to add something?
just looking at the chat, Lena, just seeing what people are saying that they've seen, which is basically people quitting because they want more money, less hours. They want to move, or they're moving to roles because they're not, the old ones weren't aligned with their vision. They've someone's seen the pull of pay rises and quicker promotions and a desire to be in a different location. And then Elena's talking about, as a coach working with senior professionals, a lot of burnout, disgruntled and unmotivated employees. We'll come back to that in the Q&A, maybe to discuss a bit more, and really more senior leaders and people, it says here, leave due to lacking clarity on their next or longer term opportunities, and they're not connecting with the vision of the company. So I think a lot of agreement, Lena, in the chat here with what you're saying so far.
Great. So I think what's been said in the chat, I mean, some of it we'll definitely be covering today. We'll be talking about how to align your company purpose with the purpose of your employees, upskilling leaders so that they can inspire and energize their teams, and leveraging the strength, identifying first of all, and leveraging the strength and potentials of your people, and ultimately how it all leads to attracting and retaining your talents. So let's firstly look, what does it actually mean, or how do you even start to align company purpose with employees' purpose? I know that one of the, it's really hard to succeed in life and in business and relationships and anything without a purpose. And it starts with our personal purpose, with our personal why. Because even if the company has a strong mission statement, they've got the core purpose and values outlined, but the higher people who don't know themselves, who don't understand their why, they're completely disconnected from who they are, it will be a lot harder to motivate, engage them, and ultimately draw their potential. So earlier this year, I actually did a survey with about 20 women, some of them in leadership roles, senior management, where they completed a few questions. And based on what they told me, 99% of them said that they had no sense of direction in life and career, or at least like lack of clarity in a direction. They felt isolated, feeling unseen, feeling unheard, unrecognized, and overlooked for promotion. And then low energy. So burnout was a common one. Burnout, worry, and stress, and low self-esteem. But especially what was interesting is that sense of direction in life and career, all of them have said it's something that they really started paying attention and really giving more thought to in the last couple of years. I like this quote, right? Hold on, where am I? Yeah, so anyways, let me just I was looking at the wrong slide now. So the workforce is the backbone of the company. And if they don't feel motivated, if they feel like they have no energy, they don't engage, the company simply will not thrive. So based on a 410 companies research that was done recently across 8 industries, it was determined that highly aligned companies grow 58% faster and are 72% more profitable.